So here we are cruising in the local park, but don't worry, there's nothing untoward going on here. We are in fact just doing part one of our 3-part cruisers test with this, the Kawasaki Mean Streak. Now for years, Kawasaki have been very adept at making the most out of all the individual bikes in their lineup, and this one is no exception because it is a breathed on and slightly tarted up VN 1500 underneath all this. Now the idea behind the Mean Streak is to get onto the bandwagon of performance cruising as kicked well and truly back into life by Harley's V-Rod. But I've got to say, I'm not sure this bike's quite up to the task. One thing that has been slightly overlooked in the Mean Streak styling exercise, however, is the pillion seat. Look at it, there's absolutely nothing there, and I personally wouldn't want to sit on that for any more than about 2 minutes. But outright performance isn't everything, and the fact that the Mean Streak is actually basically a VN 1500 underneath all its dressy clothes is no bad thing, because the VN is a very capable motorcycle indeed. The gearbox is nice and light, so is the throttle. The brakes, which have actually been beefed up on this, now give you plenty of stopping power, actually a little too much for those forks on occasion, so you might want to be a bit gentle with them. The fuel injection is very gentle and smooth, and all in all, it's a relatively easy bike to potter about on. The only difference being that in its new Mean Streak guise, this VN-based machine does get a little heavy at low speed. So, wandering around in the car park or whatever, just make sure you keep your feet handy because you might need to dab them. Inside the motor, they have hotted things up ever so slightly to give us about an extra 7 horsepower, but this isn't exactly the largest increase ever seen in the world, and I wouldn't exactly term it performance. Overall, none of the upgrades, good though they may look, actually conceal the fact this is still just a rather sluggardly but large custom bike beneath all the baubles. Obviously, grinding away vast pieces of the side of your motorcycle is often an enjoyable experience, but it's a very, very costly way to get your kicks. So with the Mean Streak, leave the hard corner into a different bike, chill the pace out and enjoy the admiring glances as everyone looks at the vast, shiny size of your motorcycle. When it comes to faster corners, the Mean Streak can be piloted around with a fair degree of accuracy for the kind of bike it is, and also the ground clearance really isn't too bad. However, don't ever try and get energetic with it because you'll soon find the limits pretty quickly. After all, the Mean Streak is still packing 1500 cc's of motor down there. That is more than the average small family car, so why, oh why does it have to be so strangled in its power output? What I would love to see would be for someone to take one of these engines and really go to town on them. After all, it's so understressed in there. You could easily see another 30 odd horsepower out of that without damaging things too much, I would reckon. Now we'd be looking at about 100 horse, more like V-Rod performance, and something like that could be very interesting indeed. But what do I know? It's time for the scores now. Performance, 6 out of 10. There ain't really any performance here to speak of. What you get is a cruiser. Style, 7 out of 10. It's got plenty of low chrome cruiser presence to keep passers-by happy and staring at you. But it's got to lose a few points for those disgusting neon stickers on the tank. Comfort, 6 out of 10. Nice squashy seat, plenty of room for your legs, but you really are hung out to dry on those narrow bars, so if you want to get some speed in, it's going to hurt your shoulders. Reliability, 9 out of 10. That motor is so understressed and its shaft drive, this bike will last forever. Whether that's a good thing or not depends on your point of view. Value for money, 8 out of 10. If you want a cruiser and you can't afford the big bucks for a Harley, then this is a lot of motorcycle for the money. Just don't expect any performance to go with it.